So today's main aim is to teach you how to do data pre-processing on customer segmentation data. Okay, today we are going to use e-commerce data. So what is data pre-processing? Data pre-processing is the process of transforming raw data into format that is easier to understand. This process can include cleaning steps, handling missing values, smoothing noisy data, cleaning, organizing, summarizing data. You can identify pattern, make predictions, inform decision making. So data pre-processing is basically before you send anything to model train, you understand it by yourself, you visualize the outcome of the data. Okay, because machine is just going to predict what you are going to tell her to predict. Okay, this is not that machine will do it by itself, but this is your job to tell machine, to tell that algorithm what I want. So if you are not clear with the business problem and objective, it will be not easy, but it will be like absolutely disgusting issue, because when you are not understanding a business problem and objective, you don't know what you're doing with your data. Okay, so to solve a business problem, you should know what the business problem is and what is the objective of that. Strategies improve customer retention and optimizing inventory management. So you will see why this thing is important in our day-to-day life. When we are using a Swiggy, Instamart, they give us 15-minute delivery. In Amazon, 1 day delivery frame. Why they do that? Because they have really good inventory management system. And how this inventory management system, how they know which products to keep into that inventory? Because they have done this segmentation. They have their the data scientists there, they have done this job very better way, so that company is so much confident that it can give us that promise that we will deliver you, the product you need, we will deliver them within 15 minutes of frame, by the end of the day, within 3 hours, within whatever. So this is the need, because the e-commerce companies are increasing. Okay, their competition is there, so you need to do your job better. How you will do your job better? If you're not a better data scientist, nobody is going to hire you, because they are competing with themselves for better service. Benefit of the project is enhance customer segmentation. Why this is important? Because for businesses it is important to know which customers are repetitive customers, which customers are giving them a better revenue, which customers are tend to go away. So this is important to understand for company, so that they can alter their strategies, alter their marketing to keep their customers for longer period of time. They can retain the customers. Okay, cost efficiency, focus on marketing efforts. Okay, high value customer segments, optimizing resource allocation. Okay, improve customer satisfaction. Why this is important? Because if you're promising someone that okay, we will deliver your product in 15 minutes, but what happens if that product is not just available? It cannot happen now. So this is our job as a data scientist, to make sure we are doing this job. Get such kind of problems, you just go to documentation at pandas and you will get what to do. Okay, so this is, I have visualized df.head. Okay, so this is how our data looks like, and this is our first 5 rows look like. What we have: invoice number, we have stock code, we have description of the product, we have quantity, invoice date, we have unit price, we have customer id and country. Okay, this is the description of this data set. What we have invoice number. In the invoice number, here, okay, in invoice number, what they're telling us: invoice is unique identifier for each transaction. We know what invoice number is. The stock code. What is stock code? The product code. Each product is identified by a certain kind of code, that is stock code. Description. This description is the product name referring to the stock code. Okay. Then there is a quantity. When we are looking in the e-commerce data set, that means, and we have customer ID, this quantity is per transaction, how much quantities that particular customer has bought. Okay. Next, there is invoice date. What date and time that customer has purchased that particular stock. Okay, that product. Unit price. What was the unit price per piece? 2.5 and stuff. Okay. Then there is customer ID, unique customer ID. Okay. And there is country. From which country the customer is representing. Okay. So what next? What can we do next? The next basic thing what we do is just see what kind of data we have. So what is that? df.info. What we get? Though here we are getting non-null values, if we look properly and closely, what we are looking at the customer ID. Each column is containing 5,41,909 rows. But this customer ID column is missing data. Okay, so let's see what kind of missing data we have. This is just again very common code, df.isnull.sum. So we get exactly what kind of what number of rows each column is missing. Okay, so here we are getting that description is missing 1454 rows, and customer ID which is missing 1,35,000. Our main project is based on customer segmentation, and when we are segmenting customers, we cannot afford or blindly fill the customer ID column. Let me repeat. When our business problem is relating around customer segmentation, we cannot blindly fill the null values in the customer ID column. Okay, we do not want there any artificial data included. Fine. So what we can do, we can just drop missing values. Okay, so what we are looking here, let's see. Okay, so let's write here. There are, fine. So what is our next step? Okay, so let's drop those. Fine. df.drop now. Why I'm directly using this? Because the description has 1454 rows, which doesn't really seem very important to me because we are segmenting customers. Okay, so we can just altogether drop and let's see if they are gone. Okay, did we get it? df dot isnull dot sum. Fine. So now we have df dot shape. What is the shape of our data set is 4,06,900 around. Okay. So let's see now what the descriptive statistic look like. Description of our statistic look like. So what we do? df dot describe. This is the basic what we have: quantity, unit price, and customer ID. Okay. So in this, what is the count? Mean of each column. Okay, so quantity has minimum, like average quantity bought by any customer is 12. Okay, average unit price that any customer is buying, average is 3.5, 3.4. Okay, customer ID is basically useless, we cannot do this, apply this to customer ID column. What is standard deviation? Okay, minimum, what is minimum price? Okay, so here we are getting that a quantity column has minimum number in negative. If someone is buying something from the e-commerce website and it is showing us a negative value, what does that mean? We will figure that out. But this is a worthwhile noticing that we are observing some negative quantities. Okay? And what is maximum quantities? Okay, so this is main thing why we visualize this table is we are getting a minimum quantity in negative. This is doubtful. Okay, this thing can have many meanings, but this is worth noticing. Okay, so notice that what we are looking here, and we will create a observation. Okay, write an observation that there are negative quantities in quantity column, which is strange, and we need to find the reason for that. Usually what we do, if we get such kind of things, we discuss it with the stakeholders, but here there is no stakeholder, only I am here. So what we will do is we will just look into the data set itself. Okay, so tell me something that if we are getting a quantities in negative, let me see if there are any quantities equal to 0. We can think of possibilities and we can keep going. Okay, so let's see. So what we are going to find, that if there are any quantities equal to 0. Okay, so what is code for that? Length of df, we will copy that from here. Okay, okay, so we are seeing that there are no quantities value equal to 0. But what is other column that is related to quantity? It is unit price. Okay, so let's see if there are any strange things present in unit price column. Okay, so let's see. We can just practically copy paste it. I do it all the time. Okay, here I am just copying this same sale copied down there, and here I will just change the column name. Okay, so what is unit price? So here I will give you. Okay, so unit price equal to 0. Strange? Fine. How can unit price will be equal to 0? If a company is selling some product, how that price of any product will be equal to 0? This is doubtful. Now let's see if there are any, if we can see unit prices are 0, let me see if there are any below, because above we are not. So there are no, here I have just written a code to see if there are any negative unit prices. So there are no negative unit prices, but there are unit prices equal to 0, which are 40. There are no quantities equal to 0, but there is quantity, but there are quantities less than 0. Fine. Okay. So let's see. Now we are getting this kind of information here. We don't need to jump directly into any conclusion, but we are just now today we are just observing what this data set is calling, what this data set is telling us. Okay? So next possible thing is, let's see what are the values. What are the value counts? Okay, value counts is basically what kind of unique values are present there and what is frequency of each unique value. Okay, so let's see. In DF there are, first we will see stock code. Dot value counts. Okay, okay. So in the stock code there are 3684 unique values. These are those stock codes. The left side is the stock code, and what right side is presenting? What is the frequency? How many times that each stock code is present in the data set? Also, there is important information that we are looking is, there are in some stock codes, not every code is numeric. We are looking at some alphanumeric also. Okay, this first stock code is ending with A, third is B, there is something A. So we have observed this stock code, but currently we are only segmenting the customers, not products. We can do it, but separately. So now our focus is to find what is this customer data set. Customer segmentation data set would look like. Okay. Now we have stock code with 3684 unique values. Now there are other, let's see description. Why not? See, when you are exploring the data, it is very important to look for each and every column and each and every row. But there is a way to do that, and you need to spend that much amount of time. Okay, if you are not ready to spend that much amount of time while doing any project, you better not go into data science field, because data scientists, we are actually digging deep into each data. We are just scientists of data. Okay. So what is this description column is telling us? There are 3896 unique products, and this is 3684. There is a mismatch, right? If description is the product name referring to each stock code and there is a mismatch, so what we need to do? We need to write this observation. Okay? So this is our observation for these two. Okay? Have you wrote anything here? Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Mm. Mm. Now we have looked into stock code and description. What is our next? We have quantity. ठीक है. Now quantity dot value counts. Okay. So there are negative quantities. It was not the only negative quantity. There are negative quantities in the quantity column. Okay. There are 436 unique values in quantity column, also including negative values. Okay, thing we need to do, we have seen the unit price. Have we seen the unit price? DF I bother. Okay, this is what the unit prices column look like. That means majority, this is 46,000, 37,000, 27,000, 26, 22. They are within 2 to 3 unit price, we can say dollar. Let's see how much customers we have. Why not? That means we have 4,372 unique customers. So what we are visualizing here, what we are looking into the data set which has 4,372 customers. Okay, so what is our observation here? Basic. If this invoice date is showing us object, as we have seen, let's describe. Okay, df dot describe include object O. This is important, right? Now what we have visualizing every other column, invoice number. Okay, this unique, which is very important. Okay, we are representing 37 countries as we have seen. Okay, 37 countries, invoice date. Now we will pre-process the data. Now that we have visualized, now that we have seen what each column is representing, now we will see. Now we will see pre-processing by column.